Brought to you by Penguin.
Incomparable World by S.I. Martin. Read by Carr and Bernardine Evaristo.
Introduction. Black Britain, Writing Back, is a new series I've curated with my publisher, Hamish Hamilton, at Penguin Random House. Our ambition is to correct historic bias in British publishing and bring a wealth of lost writing back into circulation. While many of us continue to lobby for the publishing industry to become more inclusive and representative of our society, this project looks back to the past in order to resurrect texts that will help reconfigure Black British literary history. The books included in the series are my personal choices, determined by my literary values, and how I perceive the cultural context and significance of the books. The series is not to be regarded as an attempt to be definitive or to create a canon. Canons are, by their very nature, hierarchical and have traditionally been constructed by the prevailing white orthodoxies of academia. Black British writers rarely appear on these reading lists, are rarely taught to new generations of readers, and unless they become commercial successes, their legacy very quickly disappears. My aim is to present a body of work illustrating a variety of preoccupations and genres that offer important and diverse Black British perspectives. Good books withstand the test of time, even if they are of their time. I am very excited to introduce these books to new readers who will discover their riches. Incomparable World by S.I. Martin is as significant a novel now as when it was first published in 1996. It is inspired by a little-known aspect of British history, the thousands of formerly enslaved Africans who, having fought on the side of the British in the American Revolution, were offered their freedom in Britain and British territories. Up to 1,000 of them settled in London, and it is through the lives of 3 fictional characters, all formerly enslaved, Buckram, William and George, that we experience the capital city between 1783 and 1787. A period when Britain was still up to its neck in the transatlantic slave trade, and the Slavery Abolition Act of 1833 was half a century away. I first encountered this novel when Martin and I did a public reading together in a London library in 1997, and so I first heard him read an extract from the book before I read it myself. His rich, sonorous voice boomed out into the library with its echoey, cavernous ceiling as he brought the teeming, grimy streets, the relentless hardship and poverty, and the desperate escapades of his larger-than-life characters into the building. Much of the novel takes place in the West End, especially in what we now call Covent Garden, and Martin resurrects the past with such a delight in visceral descriptions that as I listened, I felt that I was standing in the chaotic, malodorous and dangerous old city. For some time afterwards, as I walked around Covent Garden, one of my regular haunts, the modern world dissolved before me as I imagined the black people who had once walked its muddy, rubbish-strewn streets. Britain at that time was home to about 15,000 black people, enslaved and free, 3/4 of whom lived in the capital. I was impressed at how successfully Martin had illuminated one of the many buried black narratives of our history. To my knowledge, Incomparable World remains the only novel about this specific aspect of Black British history. Indeed, so few novels have been written about the black presence on these shores before the 20th century that the field is almost completely wide open for writers to colour in the empty spaces. I can name
Sample complete. Ready to continue?